I want to share with you today something that might revolutionize how you relate to your partner and basically how you see the conflict inside your intimate relationship. A few months ago, I had a really rough period in my relationship, and I was really thinking that we might not make it. We were arguing, we were misunderstanding each other, and we were getting triggered by the smallest things. And the most frustrating part from all of this was that we couldn't understand, neither of us, why it was happening and basically how we can solve it, even though we tried together apart to figure out a way how we can get out of this and why this keeps repeating, even though we were consciously seeing how this was completely damaging our relationship. And I said, come on, let's look in the time waiver in the information field and let's see what's the situation. And what I saw there was really crazy. I finally saw the patterns we were both having and the patterns that were running underneath our reactions. Because here's the thing, it's we are not always conscious about the subconscious programming that is running behind our day-to-day life. And let's face it, the reactions that we have in our relationships, in our friendships, whatever it is, and also in our lives, all are driven by our subconscious and unconscious patterns, programming, conditioning, and all the inherited stuff. And today I want to show you what we find out in Timeverse. So I took some screenshots with my phone from both his list and my list as well. So let's go into it. This is a really interesting one. This is from the database, The 10 Traps of Relationships. I recognize and overcome the unconscious causes that lead to this, that I provoke conflicts in my relationships. I finish my inner conflicts and solve my problems at their root without abusing other people for it. This is so interesting because there are so many times that we project our inner struggles in our partnership. So basically, it finds the unconscious causes that are leading me to provoke these conflicts in my relationships. I mean, this is just so absolutely wonderful because the truth is that just when we had this period, it was so much conflict inside me because I was really upgrading to a new identity, and all of around me, it was like I was shattering so many programs in that period, like super strong programming for my childhood, and it was really on the point. And then it goes further and it harmonizes. I have the strength and clarity to face the true cause of my inner conflicts that I carry to the outside world and to solve them constructively for the well being of everybody. In me is peace. I mean, it's just like so wonderful how the time weaver is working because it shows you directly this is the program, this is the pattern, this is the blockage that you are experiencing, and then it's helping you energetically, mentally, emotionally, and harmonize it. So it's overriding the wrong belief or the pattern, and it's putting these absolutely wonderful frequencies in your field, which is basically helping you harmonize and reach this harmony and balance in your relationship. It's not only about the relationship, but I just wanted to give you a really practical example on how can a time weaver work. Let's go for the next one. It's the same. I recognize and overcome the unconscious causes that lead to this, that I start relationship with people who have personalities similar to my father, mother, or both. I mean, let's just pause for a second here because this is such a big one. In my with my ex-partner, I realized quite late that I was making him feel how my father would making me feel. So my attitude towards him, it was exactly how my father was treating me. And I mean, it was not nice. So it was a pure projection and me sabotaging my relationship. And until I haven't get to see that pattern, and I mean, it took me so much internal strength to overcome it because it's like it's so normal for us, yeah, to operate like this. And we operate with these inherited patterns or how we saw in our childhood in our actual life, like right now, and we are sabotaging our relationships, our life. And then the time we were put in my field, I gently and lovingly detach myself from the patterns and imprints that I know or adopted from my parents. I enter into relationships in which I and my partner can be ourselves unconditionally. If you can pause in this moment and ask yourself, I mean, just take, for example, a really honest look in your relationship and see, am I treating my partner how my parents were treating me? And I guess the easiest way is to find out is you ask your partner, how do I make you feel? Do I make you feel loved? Do you feel supported? Do you feel, how do you feel? And then there you will see actually the energy that you put out. Okay, let's go to the next one. Another beautiful one. This was for the database dispute settlement. I recognized unconscious causes that led to me feeling like a victim of the circumstances in my relationship. And then it comes and sends to our field, I take full responsibility in every aspect and situation, and I am aware that I create or allow all circumstances myself. I mean, come on, how many times we were in a certain situation, let's say it was an argument, and you are blaming the other, and the other was blaming you for either your reaction, either what you said, either what you haven't done. And when we choose to point the finger to the other person without looking first in ourselves and at ourselves, we are playing the victim. Because truly, every time I get to ask myself, when a dispute is arising between us, how did I get to create this into my reality? And there I have the answer. I sit with this question and I'm like, okay, how have I created this situation that is completely uncomfortable? I don't like it in my reality. And then the answer comes. And once you reflect with yourself, then you can go and speak with the other person and communicate, hey, this is how I felt, this is why I reacted like this, and then the other should do the same, in a way that you can really communicate in a way that you really solve the situation, not just speak again and blame each other in this continuous nonsense way that will not get you anywhere. Okay, I have two more. The next one is, I give up the illusion that I have to control my partner. And then in the field it comes, I become conscious of the fact that I cannot change my partner, therefore I change my attitude towards my partner, which causes a change in behavior. This is such a beautiful one. um how many times we don't like something about our partner and we try to change it? I mean, it can be a small habit, it can be a small behavior, it can be whatever it is that it's like annoying you, or you judge silently about your partner. And trying to control your partner in every kind of this like small situation, it's like backfiring. Because there is also one thing that I had to understand the hard way is, whatever is annoying you in your partner is basically an aspect of yourself that needs to be seen, or either needs to be acknowledged, needs to be worked with. Once I changed myself, or I worked with myself with this, what I was judging or criticizing or silently was like, I don't quite like this. Every time I work with myself instead of controlling my partner, it just disappeared. He either stopped doing that, or it just didn't bother me anymore. This is just so crazy, but it is like this. So whenever you are dealing with something that is just discomforting in your relationships, and you're just like trying to point out to the other person, always put the mirror and ask yourself, how did I create this situation, and what is this judgment tells about myself first? What aspect of myself do I get to integrate or work with? Because our partners are really our mirrors. And now the last one that I want to share with you today is, I recognize and overcome the unconscious causes that lead to these, that I sustain relationships in which I can behave self destructive. Do you want to have a harmonic partnership? You gotta work with all of these aspects from yourself, or all of these patterns and belief system that is blocking you from achieving that harmony in your relationship. And this self-destructive behavior or thought forms or habits, they are so hidden in there, and the truth is that we never want to see them. I mean, just imagine you are behaving self-destructive to yourself, and then the standard that you put on the table is self-destructiveness, self sabotage. How can the relationship work when you haven't got to solve with yourself some things? I mean, if you are self-destructive with yourself, you will be self-destructive in this relationship, and you will sabotage it, and you will get over and over again to the same patterns or the same reactions or the same things until you get to work with them. So I really hope that this video helped you a lot to see your partnership, your relationship from a new perspective. If you want more details about Time Weaver and about what else it can do, because it can do much more than this, you can DM me or email me